Potholes and Penguins
with Barry and Trimby.
Hello and you're very welcome to episode 14 of Potholes and Penguins. It is sometime in November. I can't remember what date it is, but it's around the middle, I'd say. There was a weekend where sport was so copious and some of them so colossal that they almost became superfluous. Would you believe?
Wow.
There was the Masters.
Well done.
I lost interest. There was Argentina beating the feckin' All Blacks. There was Pro 14. I was at one today and I didn't even know what was going on. There was the Autumn Nations Cup. There was football. There was Katie Taylor. There was a load of stuff. And it was amazing.
There was hurling.
There was then the hurling, which I actually have been fairly glued to. Munster.
Limerick won the Munster final.
champions.
That's it.
Amazing. Well done, Limerick.
Yeah.
What the fucking lads. Close done.
Well done in your list. You started off in your list and I thought you had a bit of a lull in your list. And then whenever I hit that lull when I'm making a list, then I say, you name it. You name it.
yeah.
You didn't go there. You didn't go there. Well done.
I didn't write anything down today. I was too busy, so it's all in my head. So best of luck with this, lads.
That's the best kind of podcast.
What a weekend. Where do we start? We'll start actually with
please not Gaelic or hurling, please. I'm stopped.
Me too. I want to start with how creative our Penguins have been this week. Our Facebook page has been off the charts with creativity. It's very inspiring. A lot of great feedback on our Paul O'Connell Facebook. Our Paul O'Connell potholing, which that was like doing the leaving cert for me, lads. That's what that felt like.
You were both nervous, and when I went back and I was editing it, every time Paulie did something with his face like this, or maybe took a drink of water, Trimby did the exact same thing after him.
Oh wow!
Yeah, exact same. And
I was nervous.
There was one point Paulie did something and Trimby, you did the exact same thing, and Paulie started smiling to himself in a non-smiling part of the podcast, and I was like, he knows he's got him now. Yeah. I have him in my back pocket. I'm going to take this fecker for a ride uptown.
Oh, stop! You're making me nervous already.
I know, I'm getting nervous. Yeah, I'm worrying now that he's going to listen to this, and it's going to underline he knows he owns me, and now Dermot knows he owns me, and now everybody listening now knows that Paulie owns me.
Yeah,
he owns everyone, though, doesn't he?
Exactly. So people were on criticising us, going, "He left him off the hook." I was there. It literally felt like I was doing the leaving cert. I crammed so hard. It felt like CJ was doing the mocks. I got through CJ and I was doing the mocks. And then a week in Bruce College studying. Like, if Paul O'Connell he could actually be a subject in the leaving cert. How to interview Paul O'Connell. And you'd be like, only people who did applied maths and chemistry would do that as well. Like, you could do foundation studying how to interview Paul O'Connell. And I'd still fail. So
it's a postgrad course doing Paul O'Connell.
I'm happy I got it. I got through it. You know what I mean? I'd say I got about 360 in my Paul O'Connell's leaving cert. I got public administration in UL.
You did,
and I'm happy enough. Dermy, I'd say you did all right. You did
what in school?
No, in the Paul O'Connell leaving cert. You did well in the technical drawing, and I'd say you got like about 340. You're going to do
I've only got
early childcare studies in Athlone IT.
I've only got a crack relationship with Paul. Like, I've only ever met him on your stags and like those kind of things where it's just like you talk to him, you're a little bit nervous at the start, but then like 4 points in, it's like, Derby, go get the bower on, turns into a rage of a session then, then it's just
he
like,
loved that at the stag. He did.
It's an icebreaker.
Trimby, you did all right. You passed your leaving, sir. Well done. You got about 370, 375. You're still going.
I don't know what that is. What's that? A, B, or C?
You're going to do arts. And, it's a B minus maybe. You're going to do or a C plus. You're going to do arts in DIT or something like that. Well done.
Fine.
You'll work it out in
take
years to come.
Come on.
That's fine. I just wanted it to be over, but it's over.
I went for a hike with him on Friday.
After the interview.
Yeah, it was great.
Where did you go?
We went to a place that's not far from my house because I am abiding by COVID rules. But it was far enough away from my house that I didn't know where the fuck I was. So we went there on Friday morning for a short enough hike, 11 kilometres, let's say. And that's short enough, isn't it?
Yeah, but isn't
couple of hours.
Radius 5?
Pardon?
Did you just walk around
in circles?
Perimeter?
We did like a loop. But I assumed, and this is interesting because of the artist and the scientist thing which he was talking about last week, I assumed that he was the scientist and I was the artist, so he would definitely know where he's going. And so I just threw that over to him and went, yeah, he knows where he's going, so I just need to walk beside him and we'll get back. And then he brought a friend with him who I would assume he knew where he was going, because I don't know, automatically assumed he was some sort of an accountant or a business person. But then after a few minutes I realised that he was an actual artist, a brilliant artist. So then I was there, there's two artists on this, so okay, because I'm the artist also. So I was like, Paulie is the scientist then, so he knows the route. But he didn't, he assumed his friend did. So guess how long we walked for? We did 22 kilometres and walked for 5 hours, and we got lost after 3 hours. Ended up on a main road with like trucks and tractors driving by for an hour and a half, and the three of us in single file, like inside in the ditch for an hour, an hour and a half. On a hike.
I like to imagine that you had to pick the kids up 3 hours earlier, and you were just too nervous to say, Paulie, I've got to go. Or he just shout at you.
Oh, he was the one freaking out because he thought his mate knew we were going, but he didn't. He knew a fella that once walked on this road, but as an artist didn't bother looking into how to
not
get
good
there.
enough.
So Paulie, on the fifth hour, he started freaking out when we realised that we probably had another 11 kilometres to go.
On the 5th hour,
yeah.
It's like he had it planned. He's got a schedule, and he's like, on R5, I'm freaking out here, and he's like, 5.
No, this was supposed to be three hours max.
It's a bit like Jesus' crucifixion or something. On the 5th hour, Paulie realised that no one actually knew what the fuck was going on.
He wanted to tum a lift, and I was like, you can't tum a lift because you COVID.
Yeah.
And I was there. Imagine a truck driver. He said, we'll tum a lift off a truck. Imagine a truck pulled over and he got into your car out in the middle of nowhere. But then he rang Emily and asked her to pick us up, and I put the foot down. I was there, no, we can't do this. Come on, man, you're Paul O'Connell, like you have to be able to walk a few more. Although he had a dodgy pair of shoes on, and but we kept going. But there was
it like father son? You said it was like scientist and artist. I see it more as father and son. I imagine you're in your scooter. Yeah. And he's like, stop at the edge of the road, and you have to wait for him.
There, my little wagon wheel and chocolate bar eating them. We had a few moments where we'd go down we'd take a random side road and say we'd go down here, and we looked so dodgy, the three of us walking past these country houses where I'd say people haven't walked past in years, and dogs kept running over and barking at us like mad, and he's very afraid of dogs.
Wow.
Yeah.
No way.
Which was interesting. He'd like grab my arm and kind of pull me in front of him.
Pulled his child in front of the dog.
In between him and the dog. I was like, man, it's a fucking Labrador. Like, it's grand. I was like, give him some of your sandwich. He said, I'm not giving him any of my sandwich. But then every time we see someone, we'd have to ask them for directions just so we could show that we weren't mental and trying to rob their houses. Because we'd all with jackets and woolly hats and bags on. We looked like thieves. And then you could see it in their face, like, what is Paul O'Connell doing out my driveway?
The COVID has really hit him. He's gone mad. He's lost his sense of direction.
Yeah. I kind of felt like we were door to door Mormons or something like that. Do you know, you did a bit of that, did you, Trimby?
A bit of Mormonism?
bit of the door-to-door stuff, didn't you?
I did a bit of Mormonism, bit of Scientology, bit of Catholicism, and I finished in Protestantism.
Which one were you flogging?
Anything they'd buy. I would sell them whatever they were buying.
The book of carpets. Which one? Which shade?
A few pairs of sunglasses.
Which shade of Jesus you after? Definitely.
The purple one. Purple one, the dildo hanging off his head.
What was your opening line when you do that?
Can I? We didn't.
Konnichiwa. Konnichiwa. I am Andrew Chimbal. You order sushi?
What was it? Go on.
We didn't really have a line. We just quickly tried to get to know them in 30 seconds, and they were like, "What do you say?"
But, is it awkward? Were you determined, or were you like trying to just present?
No, we saw it more as kind of, I suppose, like community relations, or like kind of getting to know people who live nearby more, more than salesmen.
You weren't in the black suit with the white shirt and the tie and
the Mormon outfit.
Yeah, you weren't in the Mormon outfit.
Yeah, no,
okay,
no.
Do you remember we dressed Felix up as a hybrid? He was kind of a Mormon-y, Jewy, a Catholic, a bit of everything. He had the Jewish curls, but he
was more Jewish, I think, was it not?
From what he described, but he was. Yeah, I think he was holding a book that may have been of some sort of Eastern religion, and that he was dressed like a regular Catholic priest, but he was aggressive, like what would be more of an aggressive religion? I suppose Mormon would be not
extremist kind of.
Maybe a little bit invasive. So we sent him out on a Sunday night to people we knew to their doors, and they'd open the door. This before anyone knew who Felix Jones was, I suppose, so they didn't recognise him. And they'd open the door and he'd go, "Hello, I'm here for your salvation." That was his opening line. And they'd be there, "It's 10 o'clock on a Sunday night, man. No thanks." And he'd be there, No, seriously, God doesn't sleep. He works round the clock." And then, yeah, cool. And they go to close the door. He would jam his foot in the door and just go, "Don't be so belligerent," or something like that. And the you could see the fright on their face when he jammed his foot in the door, like, "Oh my God, what am I dealing with?" And I was always standing beside him with the camera recording, but they couldn't see me. And he was so committed. They were there, "I'm calling the guards." He'd be there, "Call the fucking guards." I will call the guards. I remember him looking at me going, "He's calling the fucking guards." And he did. The guards came one night.
He's winning World Cups now.
Yeah, he's moved on.
Did you just send him around to players' houses?
Yeah, we sent him to friends of ours that didn't know him.
Felix was used in a lot of pranks back in the day, wasn't he?
He was behind a lot of pranks. But you did mention that the purple dildo. If I'd have mentioned the purple dildo on the Paulie chat, I would have immediately failed my leaving cert, wouldn't you?
It could have. It might have been. It might have been the thing that unlocked the whole interview. It could have been the magic formula. He might have been waiting for that.
Do you think so?
I don't know. No. I just don't know anything anymore.
Imagine if you said purple dildo to him and it was some sort of magic trick, and purple dildo grew out of the side of his head in a very aggressive fashion. He was just like, "Oh," and just popped out of the side of his head, flapped.
How were your few days, lads? Trimby?
Fine, yeah. A lot of rugby.
Oh, you were supposed to commentate today on the Fiji-France game. Cancelled.
Yeah, so I got a call from Premier. Then they've got the rights for some of the, what do we call it? The Autumn Nations Cup. They got the rights for all the non-Irish games. So they were looking for me to do a couple of games, and the two games they sent through. This is the Fiji France game was the last minute thing actually, and then it was cancelled, so it didn't matter anyway. But two games they sent through were Wales, Georgia. Which was going to be a thriller, and then the other one that I'm most excited about is Wales versus TBC. I was like, sign me up straight away.
That could be Wales and Georgia again, by the looks of things.
Yeah,
possible.
Yeah, so I better get on the phone to David Humphreys actually and try and do a bit of Georgian research. He is in charge there, isn't he? Didn't see him. He didn't feature on Amazon Prime at the weekend, but
feckin' Amazon Prime, you couldn't get it down here, so I was under the impression
can't get Amazon Prime.
You couldn't get the
Mexico.
rugby down here for some. you okay. They said, yeah, I assumed I could just log in for 30-day free trial and get it 2 minutes before the Scottish match, but I've quickly found out that you couldn't get it in Mexico, so it was only in the UK. So there's no way to watch the Italy-Scotland match, or, well, you could watch it on Premier Sports, but I don't have it. But it's pretty annoying.
You get yourself a dirty box.
Poor form. I do. I'm on it. I did a bit of feng shui this weekend. I've got myself a new television room in the attic. Moved some stuff around, gonna get myself a new television, and yep, I'm back on the dodgy box hunt. So any of our penguins out there know where to go, send them our way and we will talk about them and sponsor them, or they can sponsor us. There's a child. Dermy, how was your weekend? Did you do anything, any floaty tankies or anything weird?
I didn't do any floaty tankies. I had a big Saturday of sport. Watched all the hurling. Watched Clare win. Had a great time. Did a little dance around the place. Then I went. I went out and had a lovely bit of time today before I went on the podcast. And I ate a load of scampi and a load of coffee in Ennis. There's a little pop-up area over by the 1 Mile Inn. They've moved Russell's Fish and Chip Shop from Doolin down there, and it's absolutely delicious.
Come on, beautiful Sunday. Trimby, could we get silly Trimby silly little bit? Kick us off.
Let's go for it.
It's Trimby silly little bit.
One headline I read after the historic Argentina win over the All Blacks at the weekend was, Argentina captain puts referee in his place with passionate rant. Argentina captain bamboozles referee with irrelevant comment, more like. The referee asked him to show leadership, to which he replied, they show disrespect. I play for my country. Two things allowed Pablo Matera to get away with this comment. Number one, the language barrier. Had Matera spoken in fluent, perfect English, the obscurity of the comment might have been more plain. Number two, he got the final turnover in the game and confirmed the win for the Argentinians. Again, hindsight thinking. In a world currently in the throes of a pandemic, this win does provide us with the opportunity to maybe just get carried away, maybe with the potential of a new world rugby heavyweight, and a balancing of the inequality of rugby riches we've got used to over the previous few years. Realistically, though, they've just annoyed the All Blacks, and this win will be like the time the kids and sleepers beat the guards in the game of touch football. Just for a couple of hours, they said, let them feel what we feel. Fast forward 2 weeks and Matera's in solitary confinement as Kevin Bacon takes over the All Blacks captaincy.
That's your best. That's your best yet. Strong finish. Strong finish.
Puma.
Can't go wrong. If you mention Kevin Bacon in any silly little bit,
agree completely.
You win.
You're in good shape, yeah.
And when you're talking Kevin Bacon, you're usually referring to him being some sort of sex pest of some sort.
It is difficult in that narrative to keep that amusing and light and not, it's teetering in the brink of paedophilia. The chat.
Bacon saves the day.
Yeah, Bacon saves it. Yeah,
he did.
He did right at the death.
That's so good. You're such a cynical.
I know.
Flipper. but
I know I am, and you know what?
great.
I actually,
It's important.
I actually had a moment.
You need it.
It is and it isn't.
Yeah.
Right today, when I was writing this today, I sort of thought, I think it's good to be cynical, but I think I'm just on the edge of being a bit of a dick. So I take that with a pinch of salt. I don't really think that. I think it was class as the biggest Argentina fan on Saturday.
I am wearing my Argentina jersey, which is way too tight for me nowadays. I was as much as I love the All Blacks, as we all know, I was so delighted for them. But I get your point. The broken English and the hindsight.
Did you think that at the time?
I didn't, because I hadn't seen that part until after the game. They won, and so it all added to it, and because I missed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
But now that you mention it, I play for my country. I know you play for your country.
Was it Gardner? It was Angus Gardner, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He's like,
So, and
it's neither here nor there, Pablo.
And it would be very much like that if you're in that moment as a referee, because you don't see any of the spectacle that goes on around it. You're just there, and you're going, "What the fuck is this film about?"
Yeah.
But yeah, well done. I did enjoy the video they put up afterwards of them all training at home, which was also it was cool, but it made me laugh because it seemed almost so amateurly put together. That was kind of funny, like senior Spielberg from.
See, you said that they put that out after the game.
Yeah,
isn't that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure they didn't put it out before the game? Definitely.
I don't know. I only saw it after the game.
I only saw it after the game. I think it just went viral after the game because they won, and I thought exactly that. I thought, no one ever remember we were talking about the South Africa documentary. That documentary doesn't get made unless they win the World Cup. So. It's hindsight thinking again, right?
Yeah.
But to be fair, I think I look back. Someone can confirm this. One of our handy penguins will hopefully be able to confirm this. But I looked to see what time, and I think it said 2 days ago, and it was today. So I think that went out before the game, and that actually gives them a lot more credit for not just doing something because they were, getting carried away in the moment.
What was the video of?
They were at home training when they had when they couldn't. They were under restrictions, so they couldn't go out. They haven't played a game in 13 months, so they were all. One of them, the hooker, put his dad up on the roof, throwing the ball.
What about your man? What about your man jumping around the garden? See him practicing his lineouts,
doing dummy lineouts in the garden. Sanchez was doing laps of his sitting room in an apartment, which was literally the size of this room. I'd say he could run 10 feet. So I couldn't watch it without keeping a straight face, but it was genuinely like someone had seen in the camp had seen maybe the Chasing the Sun, and they go, we should do something like this. We should put together something like this. They just get senior Spielberg to come in and direct it.
Is it like an Adidas impossible is nothing kind of carry on?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Dead. Both of your South American accents sound very Asian, fellas.
But to be fair, it was an unbelievable achievement. I love when they were dancing at the end. All the other
it's class.
The subs. I mean, what other country in the world would the subs be dancing like that? Any other subs would be like, I'm happy for you. Like, you'd be doing that fake clap, knowing that the camera's on you. I'm happy you're playing, but I'm sick and I'm not playing, so I'm a little bit pissed off that you're not losing. Even though it's historic. Whereas the Argentinians were dancing samba music, all wearing. They got new Nike Air Maxes. Apparently, they all got brand new Nike Air Maxes. Had tops off then in the crowd, and it was magic. And they were brilliant, weren't they? So we'll do
they were class.
Do a little minute or two on the game. Yeah, All Blacks caught with their pants down a little bit. Had a tough few weeks, I suppose. They've had a long couple of months, a lot of rugby. The Argentinians on the other side come in. Was it a case of going with a very simple game plan, or what? Was this the scientist, or was this the artist at work for Mario Ledesma?
I think this was the artist. This was the pure South American passion. Like, they were frothing, they were dying to get stuck in, smashing boys left, right, and centre. It just shows you how far that'll get you. On a one-off, to be fair, this will be the test whether they can kick on and win a couple more games.
Yeah, I think Ledesma obviously has a lot of history there with him. He's a lot of knowledge. And then he's coached with Australia for the last few years. So he's been, before he went to Argentina, and he took Checa with him, which I thought was brilliant. I didn't realise this. So Checa was his assistant coach. And you could see that they just knew if they could work the All Blacks, show a bit more urgency, aggression, like the speed of their line, the aggression in defence, the accuracy of everything. They were such a unit. But then they had loads of variety of play. They were going down blind quite a lot. Sanchez was putting in little kicks. Thought the scrum half passes were really wide. They were stretching the All Blacks. I thought both from an artistic point of view, they had everything that you want in terms of passion, but then they also nailed the game plan. Well done, Argentina.
Spot on. It's great, Casey would say.
Right, we take a break there. We'll come back and jump into the Autumn Six Nations, Ireland versus Wales. Ireland looking ahead to England. I was at a Pro 14 match today. I might talk about that. And then we're going to finish off with your Pothole and Penguin correspondence. And we have our first Penguin of the week, which will be rewarded with a brand new, fabulous Pothole and Penguin mug. Okay, welcome back to part 2. Lads, do either of you watch The Crown?
No.
Yeah, I watched the first couple of seasons. I got made to watch it by my missus, and then a couple of episodes in, I was hooked.
It's brilliant.
Yeah,
it started again. I think this could be our new Game of Thrones. I don't know what anyone else will make this now, but fuck it, I'm going with it. All the episodes are there, so we can maybe throw this out there and get away with it, and get away from it in a week if we want to.
Oh, they've released it. They've released them all in one go.
Yeah, all of episode 4 came out, or series 4 came out today. It focuses on Thatcher's reign and the royal wedding, Camilla and Mountbatten and all that crack. And
very current with everything going on with the Diana interview and everything, isn't it?
Yeah, who plays Diana? Actually, I never checked that.
Don't know. I need to go and look.
Gillian Anderson plays Thatcher in it.
Oh.
Yeah. So Gillian Anderson's like my up there with Pamela Anderson. Not the Andersons. Up there with Pamela Anderson, my two favourites, and the Pink Power Ranger when I was 13, 14.
They could have tried to cast them all. The Pink Power Ranger, that would be Meghan Markle.
Pamela Anderson is the Queen. So when I heard she was Maggie Thatcher, I was like, is this going to ruin Gillian Anderson for me? But I think she's such a good actress and she's so beautiful that I think it will now make Maggie Thatcher sexy to me, as opposed to Maggie Thatcher potentially ruining Gillian Anderson for me. Now if she can do that, that's acting, right? So yeah, we'll dive into that. I'm going to try and get home tonight and watch one. I'll fill you in then.
So will we do? We'll see how the first one goes. We just do an episode a week. People aren't watching it live though. People like,
I'm definitely going to watch that shit. Like, people know what happens anyway.
You're going to.
Yeah, it's factual.
There's no twists in there.
So we're just binging. Are we binging in a week then?
I reckon I'm going to I'll get him down in a week. Yeah.
Flat out. How many episodes?
Your
10?
machine.
I have the clue.
You can just go into season 4. You don't have to watch the other seasons. Yeah.
I meant to say that. See, I don't know why this popped into my head. I auditioned for an ad as an actor.
What?
Yeah. Sorry, the class acting just brought this into my head because I think I could be Oscar worthy at some point in my life.
What was the ad for?
Gravy.
Gravy. Why did you go for that? What was?
Someone got on to me and said, "Would you be interested in auditioning for this? Think you could be good?" It was called The Gravy Man or something. the Gravy Master, and you needed to be a particular type of person that was classic gravy. I'm sure you'll see the ad when it comes out, but I didn't make it, unfortunately.
What was the script?
It was I was in my bedroom and I was like a gravy guy that would love whiskey. They love gravy like they love whiskey, and swirling around and drinking it. And I put so much effort into it for my audition tape, for my casting tape, but I didn't get it.
How good do you think you are by comparison to Gillian Anderson? Like, do you think you could make Winston Churchill sexy?
Yeah,
that's the challenge.
Yeah.
That's the challenge, Barry.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if sexy, if I'm. Although your actor has to have all, right? Has to be funny, has to be sexy. Has to, yeah. I'll give it a go. I'm only starting. My career's only starting, man. Okay, I have to get my first part, please. First part first.
Did you bring up the thing before about like actors being like, the reason actors are good is because people want to hang out with them if they convey.
Yeah,
like
you brought that up. Yeah,
brought that up in the past. Like, if you're looking at good actors, they're really good because they're good looking, but also people want to hang out with them. It was a thread on Twitter.
That's what it was. Someone said that the easiest art form in the world is acting.
That's right, because
it doesn't take a huge amount of skill. What it actually takes is you to be this is what made me want to do this, is because it all you have to do is be a really likable person who people might want to be around. And I was like, I could do that.
How come Kevin Bacon was so good in Sleepers?
Well, I think the comparison someone made was like William H. Macy. Do you know that guy? He's got the mustache, he's in Fargo and stuff. He's not like your classic Hollywood, handsome, good looking, cool or anything like that. He's supposed to be really good crack and just a nice guy, and he comes across like that on the screen. So when you're watching him, you're like this in your head, you're like, this guy's really good, I'd like to hang out with him. And that's what makes a good actor, essentially. Obviously the best, like Daniel Day-Lewis, etc., they have to become, I don't know, whatever, that method acting and all that shit, so it takes a little bit more. But if that's all you had to do is just be grand, like grand.
I'd love to see you on Fair City.
Oh fuck, I don't know if I could do that. I'll do the Gravy Master, but not Fair City. Anyway, Ireland versus Wales. Great win, to be fair. Good, solid win. Wales 6 losses in a row. Looking pretty abysmal, but you can only beat what's in front of you, and Ireland did very well. A lot of positives to be taken from it, and none more so than the couple of first caps. What do you think, Trimby?
Yeah. I think there was enough new stuff to be reasonably excited. There's enough creativity, a couple of nice little plays. New cappers, obviously first start from Jimson Gibson Park. I think you're right about him. I think he looks really, really sharp. He brings a lot. So James Lowe, I think we've all been getting used to seeing what he does week in, week out for Leinster, and he just did more of the same. He's so competitive, so physical, and he mentioned this as well. He got involved early on, which just settled him. And the other thing, whatever he did on the pitch, but it was really nice. He could have been playing the game, of course. And you know what? There could be a silly little bit in this.
He was playing the game.
See you next week, James. But he was playing the game, but he talked about, he got emotional after the game, and he talked about, just how much it meant to him, and like people in his hometown back in New Zealand would have been up watching that game, everybody down at the rugby club, whatever. He would have warmed himself massively to a lot of Irish supporters. Not that everybody loves him anyway, but even more so. It was nice to see. Again, could have been playing the game. Let's take it at face value.
Playing it well. He's playing it well.
He's playing a blinder. I've fallen for it. If he's playing it, I'm full for it.
Well, the cameras love him. He gets the hair out and he swooshes the hair all the time, and he's just got the smile, and the cameras were, go to James Lowe. When in doubt, just go to James Lowe.
I think as a metric to quantify how physical a game is, they should have a metric on Sky Sports or Premier or whatever it is for how many times he redoes his ponytail. If he I think like a 5 ponytailer, if he does it in 5 times, that's a physical test match. He's gone to the well 5 times.
It's the go. Yeah, everybody go. go, 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 go. Yeah. Check this. Yeah. Back in Egypt. Cleopatra coming at you. Jamesy had them white gum shoe with the socks pulled down to her. His home club is Sadie Leinster. He's good to go. 36 whole months. Now we got low, 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 low. He loves to high five, but his accuracy is shy. He shakes his head and gives a big tootio smile. His hair does flow, but oh no, bro, where's my go, 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 go?
I thought Farrell went really well too.
Yeah, good combination. Got his hands on the ball a lot, didn't he?
Yeah,
it was just good performance. Keelan Doris, obviously man of the match. Pretty good at number 8, wasn't he?
Yeah, really good, really good.
Yeah, natural there. Billy Burns, come on, did pretty well. I was watching Billy Burns. I was like, he could actually do quite well against England if it was the case that he would have to start, because he sits off the line a little bit more. Might not be playing into the English hand by getting so flat, which was potentially what was happening on us before. But that's just my read on it. You looking at that now, how could you see us, overcoming what has happened to us in the last, 3 times we've played England when we've been absolutely battered?
I know. It's very tempting to reflect on the Wales game and think, wow, that's brilliant. We're back going well. Wales have lost. Is that their 7th game in a row they've lost?
6.
Sixth game. Like,
Whoa.
that was unheard of under Gatland. So, like, they're
Gatland
massively
lasted
struggling.
for 7, believe it or not.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I am shamefaced.
Yeah, it's funny though the way. Yeah, you'd think he was given the time and they were calling for his head. I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah. So yeah, they're calling for his head now. So what do you think?
I don't know. I find the whole thing really. I love Pivac. I love the way he played with Scarlets. Everybody loves the way he played with Scarlets. And I remember a few weeks ago when we were chatting to Andy Dunn, he was saying all these players, they know how to execute. They know how to play with width and catch pass. And we talked about this with Paulie as well, actually. But he said it's just about someone putting the structure in place and allowing them the freedom to be able to play with that sort of game plan. But this proves that that's maybe not the case, or it's a lot more difficult to do, and maybe it does take a lot of time to get systems in place, and obviously the disruption with Wales over with lockdown, but it's the same for everyone. And then look at the way Argentina played. I don't know, I'm kind of going in circles here a little bit because I just find the whole thing confusing. I think Pivac he seems like a really, really good coach. He did an incredible job with Scarlets, and then just whenever he steps up, just something doesn't seem to be working. And you never know what's going on behind the scenes, but by all accounts, like, Gatland's very, very simple, very straightforward. It's a pretty simple game plan. Everybody, whenever you're watching Wales, I think they're quite easy to anticipate where they're going to go. Whereas Scarlets, you wouldn't have had a clue where they were going to go, and if you did, you couldn't have done anything about it anyway because they play with such width and pace, and you don't see any of that with Wales. Although they brought, I think they dug in. They showed. I thought they were going to get back into the game at the start of the second half, whenever it looked like Ireland might have kicked on, and they actually brought a load of line speed, got a couple of early penalties, and got a bit of a foothold in the game, and then the game got away from them again. But I find the whole thing with Wales very confusing. So again, I know you asked me about England. I'm just saying it's hard to know where Ireland are at after that because it's hard to know where Wales are at. Yeah,
no, I know what you mean. It is very, very hard to understand because they did not show any resemblance of what we've expected from to see from Wales. I think it was 35 before halftime, about 35 minutes. They hadn't touched the ball. They had barely put phases to play or together, and then they did put a few things together just before half time. Second half, as you said, they started alright, got a few turnovers, but I thought that was Ireland being a little bit more lax as well. But they still didn't. Yeah, it's so surprising when you know what to expect, what you thought you might expect from Pivac's other style, going side to side or just having some sort of structure, but literally not any phase of play or any kind of up and at them. And that's a solid Welsh team. To be fair,
And they were fired up as well. To be fair, there was loads of niggle early on. James Lowe got shunted in the back by Liam Williams. It was a little bit of a cheap shot.
That was
cheap
very
shot.
Cheap
and
shot. It was.
Yeah, there was no need at all. Although I think you're unwise to do that to James Lowe. To be fair, but and there was a lot of guys kind of being confrontational and physical. They were fired up. They were ready for it.
I was doing that. That classic thing where they're going to have a purple patch. Do you remember you'd say that in the dressing room at half? They're going to have a purple patch as we got the weather of the storm. I was going to say that to myself at half time to start the second half, but it never came. The line out in the way and the scrum fell apart, the disciplinary problems. But looking at Ireland, they, as you said, they'd some. Gibson Park had some brilliant moments. There was a few little intricate plays that they did that led to tries, didn't they?
Yeah, the two things that Ireland brought that were a little bit more creative, or we hadn't really seen them much from Ireland, and to be fair, we've seen them from everybody else. But the one play, I think it was off a peel off a line out where Gibson Park just takes it sideways and then just mispasses inside. James Lowe made a break off that and then just fed Johnny that one, and then the other one off the right hand side after the first hit up. Then I'm not sure who the forward was, but I think Gibson Park again gets a wrap around, and then they go out the back, and Johnny made a break off that
Doris,
one as well.
Yeah.
So
that was class.
Doris, yeah, of course it was Doris. But yeah, there was a couple of wee things that I just think were a little bit more creative than we've seen, and it was both of them were executed really well. So hopefully we'll see more of that next week. But again, I don't think they'll get away with that. I don't think they'll get away with that at Twickenham. I think Lowe will get smashed. I think England will be more switched on. I think Doris won't even get the chance to get that ball back, and if they do, they'll shape off, and Johnny will get smashed. Like, you know what England are like with their line speed, and
so it's like us beating Wales last year in the Six Nations.
It's exactly the same. It's exactly the same.
This is us now. We're flying.
We're class.
Yeah.
We are class, aren't we? How class are we? Are we really class or extremely class? Or what do you think?
So you think we need to control that?
I'd 100%.
Aren't class.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd be so interested to hear what Farrell says going into England, because first time was a shock. In the run up to the World Cup was the first time England really took them apart. Then pre-World Cup, then Twickenham last year, and it's like whenever that happens 3 times in a row, all of a sudden a team has got a wee bit of a psychological edge, and then it's really hard for Farrell to know what way to go about that, with the preparation or what's the angle, or how the narrative for the week is supposed to be.
What do you think he's going to go
fascinated
with us? With like, do you think he'd play Sexton? If Sexton's all right?
I'd say so. Yeah. Like if so Burns, I don't know what way Burns is either, but if those two are right, then that'd be interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah, England, I didn't see much of them on Saturday. Saw a few of the tries, but hard to tell against Georgia. They had Itoje had 6, which was interesting. Luxury of playing him wherever you feckin' want, to be fair. But yeah, they're looking pretty strong. So look, I think it's a good challenge. I think it's a good challenge for the Irish side, and I don't know, I'd be quietly confident that it's not going to be as bad as it was before. We've got to have worked out a way to play around that, because that's where they're catching us, is that blanket defence, first 5 defenders coming up, and we're kind of running without any variety or any kind of, I don't know, angles, and just running straight into defenders, easy to read.
I don't think they need to play around it. I think they need to shorten up the passes, make the passes really flat, and just frustrate England's defence, because England would want an opportunity to just destroy someone, just get off the line and take someone's head off.
But I feel like that play you're talking about there a minute ago, where Gibson Park loops around Doris, that's it. And maybe not back to Sexton, because Sexton would be too flat as 10, but if that's going out the back of even Sexton to deep winger, if you get the first 4 or 5 defenders coming up in a hard, which what I thought was the problem last year in Twickenham, was we were getting that ball to either Aki or Ringrose, and they were getting caught just in that 13 channel by that last defender. So it's kind of going out the back of them, getting around them.
Yeah, but there's no one. There's no one out the back of them. It's long passes. When you throw long passes against that defense, they get smashed. And then when we're defending, we need to be really careful of that kicking game that England brought.
I think Gibson Park with his first pass, similar to what Argentina did at the weekend. If you take out the first 10 yards with a long pass from 9, then you can shorten up the other passes. That would be my way around it, as opposed to tightening everything up.
Yeah, but I mean, you mentioned Itoje there. Like if you're putting on long passes, even off 9, those guys get smashed. Itoje, it just doesn't. They don't hang around. They make really good reads. They get off the line. They cut down your decision making. And I don't know. I think you need to. What we used to do. Neil Doak was big in this. If we're playing against a side with loads of line speed, you keep those passes short and you keep guys, coming up and then coming back, coming back, and then on the outside, I'm talking about the defenders, and then they never actually get set, or they just get frustrated because they've gone up and down half a dozen times. They've never actually made a hit or not made any sort of impact. If you keep them frustrated, then eventually they'll switch off, and then that's when you get the opportunity to go. If you buy into that, if you feed that defense, then they get more energy from it, and that's the last thing. They'll be doing all that whooping and hollering. Who was it got told off there last week? Was it Treadwell got told off by? Was it Nigel the ones?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, whooping and hollering. The way they're all doing.
Yeah. Shut up.
Exactly.
Me at home with the twins at the moment. They both found their voice. I'm like, shut up, Willie, for God's sake. Making my head. It's a good competition though. I'm enjoying it. I enjoyed the Scottish and Italy match. I actually caught that one. Italy, so close but yet so far. They looked very good. Had some lovely moments. Probably more so Scotland kind of didn't really come out for the first 40-50 minutes. Got a kick up the hole at half time by the sounds of it from Gregor Townsend, and come out and kind of, I don't know, dragged out a win. Duncan Weir's hair was probably my favourite part of that. He's done it for charity, so we can't slag him too much. Fair play, but he looks hilarious. He looks like a little Jewish granny, little old Jewish granny from New York or something. Just imagine him in a little dress with a handbag.
What's the Saracen Centre? The Scottish guy.
Yeah,
he's got a similar.
He's got one of them as well.
He's got this. He's got the same hair.
He's like her pal. Yeah, the two of them.
Yeah, but he's not doing it for charity. That's just his hair.
Yeah.
What's his name? Forget that guy's name.
Duncan.
Yeah, it is Duncan something as well.
Something. Yeah. Yeah, very funny. But yeah, good one. Like, look at these boys are from Ireland. These boys are from Ireland over there. Look at their scraggly beards. They drive on the wrong side of the road over there. Anyway, I was at the Munster match today. Good win. 38-20, I'm going to say, against Ospreys. More of the same from Munster. Some nice patterns of play, nice offloads. Gavin Coombs looked very good, very powerful number.
He was going really well, yeah.
Yeah, scored a hat-trick. Delighted for him. Delande and Scanlon at 12 and 13 looked pretty sharp. Matt Gallagher looked well on the wing. Mike Haley scored a good try. JJ came off with a little what looked like a dead leg, but Ben Healy came on and did well, strutting around. He looked very confident, as Craig Casey was telling us a while ago. And Craig
Casey went well too.
Yeah, he was excellent. And Connacht unfortunately lost to Cardiff last night, was it?
I think we should leave that right until the end of part 3 and then just say, oh, and Connacht got
Yeah, there's too much else going on. All right, we take a break and come back for part 3 with your Penguin and Pothole correspondence. Hello and welcome back to part 3, Pothole and Penguin correspondence. Dermy, I'm going to hand over to you. Take the reins. It's all yours, my man.
Okay. Tweet in here from RT Bacon. He goes, "Hey lads, great show. At the risk of going full pothole, in this world of players playing all over the world, would you like to see a Club World Cup? To see the best of Southern clubs versus the Northern clubs? Saracens v Crusaders? Question mark. Brumbies v all the Brumbies players in Ireland? That's the silly question. They're too busy and they're flat out, and that would just be a major pain in the hole for everyone. So, disregard that one.
RT Bacon, that is a little bit more potholy than we're used to. We would encourage a nice healthy balance of 60-40 Penguin to pothole. This guy's gone. That's at least 20-80. I think he needs to adjust his balance. Check yourself before you wreck yourself, RT Bacon.
Ben Fennelly, good man, he's on the Patreon. Sound, fair play to you, Ben, good man. Maybe one for Barry and Trimby to discuss. With Murray coming on, they replaced the injured silly Billy Burns at 10. Did anyone else think that Murray could in fact be the answer to the question of who will replace Johnny Sexton?
Ben Fennelly just thought silly Billy Burns was the funny thing to say, and he squeezed it into a question.
Use it in a sentence, Ben.
I like your style, man.
Yeah, let him off. I think he could be onto something though.
Honestly, I knew as soon as Murray came on and stepped up and kicked goal, I was like, we're going to talk about this. This is so interesting. And it was right under our nose the whole time. And no one ever saw it. He's been hiding in plain sight. Murray.
He really has. I would love to see that. Just for shits and giggles. Just to see if it works.
And no better time for shits and giggles than Twickenham.
Do you know what we'll do? For the crack. Huh, Conor? For the crack.
It's all good fun till someone giggles and shits. And Conor Murray plays number 10.
Man, I told you. Absolutely cuts him in half on the first ball he gets. Yeah. Well, if both of them are out, who's it? It's one of Ross Byrne or Harry Byrne. Oh, I'd love to see Conor in there. I don't see why not. He's as skillful as anyone. He's an unbelievable kick at the ball. He's a good defender. He's good feet. He's quick. He's a leader. Yeah. It's right under our noses, as you said. Where's the negative side of that?
I don't know. I think I assumed that silly Billy Burns got on the bench because Ross Byrne wasn't fit. Or actually, now I'm thinking they probably just made that change. So if Ross Byrne is injured, then it actually genuinely becomes realistic, doesn't it? Because you can't put Harry. It's actually probably more unfair to put Harry Byrne, in because he's a youngster and he hasn't played at all. That's more unfair. That's more shitsy and giggly than Murray.
Yeah, just get your best player in the field wherever you can. Get your best players, put them on the field, find a way to shoehorn them in there, however. And I don't see why he couldn't.
Would that be a fun way of Munster for doing it?
Oh, if Munster did it?
Yeah.
It could be, yeah. With how well Craig Casey's playing as well. I'd easily slot Conor into, for what? For what 10s are doing at the moment. It's passing, it's not a huge amount of spiral kicking, so the kicking pressure is a lot of the time on the 9 anyway. It's been able to take a pass and give a pass. That's all they fucking do. They do nothing. It's easy. I could do it.
Barry Holland was tweeting in. He was going, well, he was just tweeting about Bryce DeChambeau, and he was agreeing with Trimby, what Trimby was saying, that Bryce DeChambeau is an absolute spoofer. And Barry Holland.
Was there any more information? I'm keen to get to the bottom of this.
That he's not a scientist. Okay, there was a moment on Saturday where his ball landed in the mud and disappeared. He teed off and it went down on the 13th, and it was so wet the ball disappeared, and everyone was going around like, where the fuck's the ball go? And he came out with a line.
Okay, Mr. Scientist, let's see how you do with this one, Mr. Scientist.
He said, if my ball can't be found, does that mean it's lost? And someone tweeted going, Yes, it means you lost Mr. fucking scientist. So he just looks so stupid, literally with his hands in the air like that. But I thought that was loud.
I play for my country. He says, I play for my country.
It's the exact same.
Anything my player doesn't affect. Yeah, I thought that was lousy because how often do you lose a golf ball on a golf course these days, especially when it just went off the fairway into the rough? But it must have. He hits the ball so hard that it went through the ground.
Wow.
But he did have a bit of an implosion. God bless him. He predicted he'd be shooting like at least 15 under because it's such an easy course for him. And I think he was on even par after the first couple of days. So he's a bit of a spoofer. But I enjoyed bigging him up there for a few hours.
Yep. Ed Kidney texted in there. We got it completely wrong there last week with the We Love America episode and the proliferation of Pamela Anderson. Pamela Anderson is in fact Canadian, not American. Thanks, Ed, for verifying that.
That just sums us up, doesn't it? Perfect.
She is Canadian.
She shouldn't be. Fucking bullshit.
Oh, for God's sake, let's
Yeah. Sorry, America. Sorry,
sack
America.
the researcher. Okay,
sorry.
here we go. I've got a big long story here from Cahill.
Okay, is this the winner?
Oh,
Let's see.
we'll see. Got a great story for you guys about how much of a gent Paul O'Connell is. About 15 years ago, I got roped into watching my 3-month-old niece while my sister got her hair done. So there I am, sitting in the waiting area of a hair salon, with my niece down around Catherine Street, or maybe it was Thomas Street. It's been a while, so my memory's a bit fuzzy. And who walks in but Paul O'Fucking-Connell. I was nervous as fuck, and just kept looking at him as he read a magazine and waited, but didn't know what to say. Pretty soon, though, my niece started crying, and I'm trying to quiet her down because I didn't want her to bother Paulie, but she wouldn't stop. Pretty soon he gets up and walks over. He started running his hands through her hair and asking what was wrong. I replied that she was probably hungry or something. So, Paul put down his magazine, picked up my niece, and lifted his shirt. He breastfed her right there in the middle of a hair salon. Chill guy, really nice about it.
That's 95% to 5% there, I'd say, is it?
A little bit too penguin-y. Ever so slightly over. They've over penguined it.
Chill, great finish.
Big finish.
Yes,
over the
very
bar.
solid finish.
Chill guy breastfeeding your niece, running his fingers through her hair.
Chill's not the adjective to use there, is it?
Well done. That's great.
Brilliant.
As I know it's fictional, so people out there be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I don't know, but it made me laugh. So that gets our mug of the week. Is that the mug there?
That's it. I'll read anything you send me, lads. That's not the mug, actually. That's a mug of Jessica Zebo.
It's another story.
It's another story.
Okay, well done. What's his name?
Cahill Phelan, mug coming at you.
Well done, Colin.
Send
Well on, Cahill.
us a message and I'll send you a mug. Bye.
Yeah. Keep them coming in, lads. There was a few more that we couldn't get around to, but they were lovely. All right, that's been a lovely, fabulous show. What a weekend of sport. Jeepers. I hope you enjoyed it. Have we something similar next week? Is there more hurling and football next week?
Is it Christmas next week? I have no idea.
I don't know. My birthday's coming up in the next...
15th, you've another
2 weeks.
13 days.
Okay. We won't celebrate it next week. But look, everyone, have a fabulous week. We'll be back during the week with our weekly pothole. Who'd that be? Jesus, I don't know. We'll see. It's a surprise. It won't be the Leaving Cert. It'll be the Leaving Cert holiday. That's what this one will be anyway. But just crack. Not the Polly wasn't any crack.
Oh, the weekly bottle will be the leaving, or the equivalent.
The equivalent of the Leaving Cert holiday. I need a holiday after that one.
Go to Santa Panza.
Yeah.
Phone party at the next one.
Yes, exactly. All right. Have a great week. Party on.
Party on.
Party on.
Recently, we launched our Patreon page for our nearest and dearest penguins, and you've been just lovely so far. Please support your Uncle Barney, your Auntie Andy, and Her Holiness Sister Dermy of Assisi for the price of an onion bhaji.
A Cliff Richard calendar.
5 turnips.
A fidget spinner.
A packet of Weetabix.
A microwave dinner.
Conceding a last-minute consolation try to Zebra.
A Simply Red album bought in Tesco's.
A Hunger Buster packet of multi-pack potatoes.
You can help us avoid having to send our kids to work at the age of 5. Thank you.